Here's Raphael, who smashes his alarm clock at 7 a.m. He's barely alive, so he's still lying in bed before he manages to get up. Later, he makes himself a big coffee to fully wake up, and he goes to work for 8 hours. After work, he comes home exhausted. He eats dinner and watches some TV. He's full, so he falls asleep on the couch for 2 hours without any problem. He wakes up around 8 p.m. He feels lazy. Besides, it's too late to do anything at home, so he opens some beer, and he sits in front of the computer till 11 p.m. Quick shower and it's time to sleep. In the bed, he moves from one side to another, but finally falls asleep. He wakes up in the middle of the night with a full sack and goes to the toilet. Next day at 7 a.m., the alarm goes off, yet Raphael is barely alive again. Why is that, since he's sleeping 10 hours every day? Here's Michael, who wakes up at 6 a.m. already. He unveils the curtains to bring some light into the room. He dresses up and he goes on a 20-minute jog, during which he stops by a store where he buys a fresh loaf for breakfast. In work, he's focused all the time. After work, he's back home, he eats dinner, and then he takes a 15-minute nap. His afternoon and evening is his time. He can go and play basketball or football with his friends or do anything he wants. He comes back home around 8 p.m., eats supper, and has time to see a movie or read a book, etc. He's going to bed at midnight and falls asleep like a baby. He wakes up at 6 a.m. again and he's ready to go. How so that after a 6-hour sleep, he's full of energy, and Raphael is languorous all day despite the fact that he's slept for 10 hours? Every day, Michael has 4 more hours of life, which is 60 days more in a year. It's enough to do things Raphael has no time to think of. Do not believe in the lie that tells you that you need no less than 8 hours of sleep, or that the more you sleep, the better you feel and the more energetic you feel. The quality of your sleep is far more important than the amount of hours you sleep. Sleep has its own stages. The most important stages, which also happen to be the best quality, are the deep sleep stages. During deep sleep, our body tends to rest and recover more efficiently. But the most important thing is that the deep sleep stages begin around the first 5 hours of sleep only. After 5 hours, the more we slumber, the less quality our sleep has. Furthermore, Michael keeps himself fit every day. That morning jog and then adding some team sports with his friends later in the evening, it doesn't necessarily have to be immense. Every activity we perform raises our body's temperature. A high temperature is a signal to our body that it needs to be focused and boosted. A lack of exercise lowers our body temperature, which gives it a signal to rest and enter a sleep state. The lowest temperature the human body has is when we sleep, during the deep sleep stage. Therefore, during the day, our temperature rises and falls again, and so on day by day. The more body temperature you gain during the day, the lesser of a fall you'll get at night, and your sleep will be better and deeper. Raphael doesn't even bother to raise his temperature during the day by any activities. He's a couch potato. He watches TV and sits in front of the computer, so he's languorous all day, which makes him have difficulties falling asleep, and he wakes up constantly. Michael spends a moderate amount of time outdoors. In the morning, he brings some daylight to his house, he jogs to the store, and in the afternoon, he also tries to find some time to go out. This way, he reduces the melatonin level in his body. Melatonin is a hormone. The lower its level, the more energized we are, and when it's high, we are more drowsy. Melatonin exudes in our bodies when we surround ourselves with darkness, and that's when we are the most sleepy. Michael doesn't struggle with that because he's using every opportunity he has to be in daylight. That way, he reduces the amount of melatonin in his body. Raphael does quite the opposite. He never goes out, so his melatonin level is always high, which makes him drowsy. Good and healthy sleep doesn't just depend on going to bed and lying in it for 8 or 10 hours. This doesn't mean that if you sleep for all of those hours that there will be more energy throughout the day for you. What happens in your bedroom mainly depends on what you do outside of it. There is much advice out there on obtaining healthy sleep. If you're having some problems with your sleep at night or throughout the day, check out this book, which inspired me to make this video. The link's in the description. Good night.